If at any point in time you get locked out of the account, don't freak out. It's usually a 24-hour manual lock. Sometimes it will revert the login backwards. So the good news is it's totally fine to have multiple accounts. Amazon is comfortable with that. Idea of having a backup is a good move. We'll go through, like how to do it appropriately so you don't run into any problems and how to run multiple accounts. The first one is about how to transfer an Amazon account. When you take over the account, I recommend that you transfer the account ownership information entirely. You just need to make sure you have appropriate business settings in place. Do a full assets transfer. If you do that, then you don't have to change it on the account. You just need to make sure in your agreement, like, hey, up to X date, you're responsible for tax filings, et cetera, all liabilities. Yeah, so just make sure you cover that from a legalese or protection standpoint. And then you can maintain the LLC. You'll go to the state, transfer the LLC, all that good stuff. I'm not a lawyer. I can't speak as much to the legalese part. I'm going to stick to the Amazon, but generally speaking, if you don't do that, it could affect Amazon, which is why I mentioned it. On the account, there's a tax information, a business information section. Since you're acquiring the LLC, you don't have to make any changes there. In the future, when they have you redo the identity, you're going to want to make sure you sign your name, not his. Just be ready for that. The key here when you transfer the account is to go into the login information section and change the name to you. You're going to go into the login information. You can see the emails right here. You're going to hit edit and change it out. You're going to also change the name, and you can put your name in there or whoever's name you're going to put the driver's license loaded in the future. You're going to transfer the email to an email address that's never been associated to Amazon. The phone number is the next tricky part. You can't use a VoIP. You must use a legitimate cell phone number. And again, ideally has never been connected to Amazon. Second phone number that you have hanging around the house, that would be the most ideal. Do not use a phone number attached to your personal Amazon account if at all possible. I have personally gotten away with using that. If at all possible, don't. If it's your only option, do it. It has a modest risk because it's in the Amazon ecosystem. Sometimes some people will buy a burner phone for this one step. Really stupid. Whatever you do, make sure that the admin phone number on the other account is not attached to the SEC. That's a 100% mandatory. The two-step verification and the authenticator app is a separate question. Everything I mentioned so far about the primary phone number does not apply to the secondary. If you wanted to have the same secondary phone number across multiple accounts, I've never seen a problem happen from it. Additionally, I recommend 1P, 1Password Manager. You can also use LastPass. Your key day one must take care of name, email, phone number. When you add secondary users to an account, you can have them create all of their own user logins and all that stuff. If you wanted to use the same login across multiple accounts and have multiple people log into it, it's safe, but I recommend using a secondary user, not the admin, to do so. If your main account currently has multiple people logging into the main admin, I wouldn't advise that. Do not, under any condition, connect the same admin info to two accounts. Full stop. You can see here, there's no delete next. That's the admin, the super admin. You can give all the same user permissions to the secondary users, almost full admin. Make sure you monitor those email inboxes, suspension notices, etc. will go there. In terms of day-to-day use, you can get away with a secondary user, no problem. And the number one mistake that people make is they try and add their main admin email to a second account, and that's when all hell breaks loose. You'll get Section 3 suspended, and that's the hardest one to fight. The bank account would be next. When you do the bank account, do that transfer after a deposit. Let's say the deposit's hitting on Friday. If you try to do the bank account change on Wednesday, you will get the account locked. I would wait a full day after the deposit, and then that's totally safe to do the changeover. If you do it like that, you should run into zero issues. If at any point in time you get locked out of the account, don't freak out. It's usually a 24-hour manual lock. Sometimes it will revert the login backwards. Just make sure you change the bank after a deposit. You should avoid any security flags. So the multiple account scenario, there's a lot of crossover between transfer and multiple. So some of the same information applies. Don't use the same info on multiple things. That's the key for the coaching call. In my mind, this is a straightforward process. If you follow what I talked about, you should be set. But just wanted to stress to you, it's totally fine. It's legal and it's ethical. So you don't have anything to worry about there.